Welcome inside Cavanaugh Hall here on the campus of IUPUI for the premiere episode of our new show, Jag Sports Zone, where we bring you everything Jaguar athletics. I'm your host, Tyler Locke. Here, we will showcase highlights, fun stories, and show love to our hardworking student athletes. And on today's show, we begin with highlights. The gentlemen capped a three-game homestand when they welcomed conference foe Detroit Mercy into the Farmers Coliseum. We begin in the first, where the ball's passed around the perimeter until it finds Marcus Burke in the corner for the three. Later in the first, a nominee for play of the game as a dunk attempt is sent back. UIC stole the momentum after this. That momentum carried over into threes that the team could not miss, evident by this insane three with defenders draped all over Brad Calipari. In the second half, Jalen Manette with a smooth crossover, drive, and lob to Elijah Goss for the slam. But ultimately, it wasn't enough as UIC matched our energy and then some, throwing down oops as well. We fall short as the final score is 76-64. Next, we have women's basketball. The Battle of the Big Cats adds another chapter as our women's b-ball team traveled to Bunks country to face the Panthers of Milwaukee. The ladies are riding a 6-game winning streak and wanted to push that to 7. 4 Jaguars scored in double figures as IUPUI pushed its winning streak to 7 games with a 75-52 win at Milwaukee on Sunday. The Jags kept up their hot shooting, hitting over 50% from the field against the Panthers. They went ahead and clinched that 7th win. Moving on to women's tennis. The ladies competed in a 3-game homestand when they welcomed in the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky and Indianapolis. The Jags have won 4 of the past 5 meetings and look to make it 5 out of 6. Star junior Crystal Grubb was ready to go into singles play as she matched up against Tristan Bryan O'Take. We roll the highlights. Beginning in the first set, Grubb was focused early as she rockets the ball past O'Take to gain the early advantage. Later in the first set, we see the strength Grubb causes as the strong serve could not be returned. Still in the first, this sequence is just poetry in motion, giving her the absolute most to preserve the lead. Grubb fights close to the net before being served a lob ball that she spikes into next week to take the point. Just for good measure, the very next possession, Grubb rockets the ball again to take the point.
So I think I played pretty well. I played within my limits. I did everything right with the ball, and I forced my opponent to miss, and that was the goal.
Our men's tennis team took a trip to Big Ten country when they visited Northwestern to kick off the spring season. The teams have matched up 6 times since 2009, with Northwestern coming away with a victory each time. IUPUI's men's tennis team suffered a 4-0 loss to Northwestern to start the spring season on Sunday, so unfortunately, they were not able to get the win. In doubles play, it started with the duo of Reed Plunkett and Eric Hollingsworth falling 6-1 in the number 3 spot. Sean Bailey and Ethan Mardanis Bodino lost 6-2 in the number 2 spot as Northwestern took the doubles point. In singles play, it started with Michael Koch falling 6-0 at the number 6 spot, and the Wildcats earned their 3rd point of the match with a 6-1, 6-3 win over Colton Morhart at the number 5. The match ended as Sean Bailey was defeated 6-1, 6-3 in the number 2 match. IUPUI will remain on the road for the early part of the season, traveling to St. Louis for their next match on January 25th at 5 p.m.
It's always out there. The horizon. A reminder that our greatest goals are rarely attained. And as soon as you reach one, another emerges. But every day we rise and work harder, dig deeper, ask one more question, take one more shot in relentless pursuit of our horizon.
Welcome back, everybody. For this week's athlete profile, we headed to the natatorium and met Samantha Roll, a senior journalism major from Wisconsin. She is in her 4th season as a member of the women's swim team. She is a force in the water, but Roll tells us how she succeeds and balances the demands of being a student athlete.
For me, when I walked in on my recruit trip, I didn't realize that that pool was at this campus. Like, everybody in the swimming world knows about the IU Natatorium because it is said to be one of the best pools in the nation. And so on my recruit trip, when the coach walked me down into the Nat, and we walked through the door and it opened up and I was in the IU Natatorium, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that this was this pool. And so that was kind of a factor into my decision, was the world-class facility. My name is Samantha Roll. I'm a senior here at IUPUI on the swim and dive team. I first started swimming because my older sister started swimming on our small hometown local summer rec team. And I, being the younger sister, wanted to do every single thing my older sister did. So the year after she joined, I begged and begged and begged my mom to let me join. During my freshman orientation 4 years ago, me and my roommate, who is a diver on the team, we snuck out of orientation and we snuck into diving trials. We went through the back way to get into the Nat, and we watched diving trials instead of going to orientation. Don't tell my coach that. Being an athlete, obviously I have a natural competitiveness, but over the years I've kind of learned how to transfer that into things outside of athletics, so academics, or and eventually after I graduate, I'll take that and use that for work. I chose journalism and public relations specifically because I really love to learn. And with public relations, you have the opportunity to work in a large variety of industries and communicate important information about whatever client you're working with. And I'll continue to develop a wide breadth of knowledge, which is just something I like. The most rewarding part about being a student athlete, I would say, is the relationships I've formed with my teammates. I've gotten to know 50 amazing people, and even more than 50 over the course of my 4 years here, and just that camaraderie and the friendships that I've made through swimming, because you're with these people for 20 hours a week, pushing yourselves to your farthest potential, and physically, mentally, academically. It's just been connections that I've made are a lot deeper because of being a student athlete and working alongside these other swimmers. Piece of advice I would have for any incoming student athlete coming to IUPUI would be just to really take advantage of the school's location and the resources that you have on this campus. So using the fact that we are right downtown and have relationships with a bunch of businesses downtown to really capitalize that and use that for your own professional development. So that just continue thinking about what you want to do beyond graduation.
Thank you to Samantha Roll for being a part of the first edition. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll give you a heads up on what games you can look forward to this week. We'll be right back.
Indianapolis, the heart of hoops hysteria. And beginning in March, the home of the Horizon League men's and women's basketball championships. 8 teams look to reach the horizon and punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Semifinal action takes place Monday, March 9th, and Horizon League champions are crowned Tuesday, March 10th. Visit horizonleague.com for more information and to score your tickets today.
Welcome back to the Jag Sports Zone. It's going to be a busy week for the Jaguars, beginning with women's track and field, as the team will be in action for a third straight weekend when they compete in the Illini Invitational inside the UI Armory in Champaign, Illinois. IUPUI's participation in the 2-day meet will begin with the Maltese on Friday, January 24th, starting at 3 p.m., followed by a full day of competition on Saturday, January 25th at 10 a.m. The women's basketball team looks to stay hot as the Jags travel to UIC on Saturday, January 25th. The game against the Flames will tip off at 3 p.m. Eastern Time and will be streamed on ESPN3. If you're looking to see them closer to home, they will be defending their home turf against Cleveland State at the Jungle on January 30th at 11 a.m. The men's basketball team will also be traveling this weekend as they head to Ohio to take on the Cleveland State Vikings. The game will tip off at 7 p.m. in the Waltstein Center on the university's campus. We thank you all once again for tuning in for this edition of Jag Sports Zone. Make sure you check out all the upcoming Jags action. This is Tyler Locke, signing off until next week. Take care, and remember, go Jags.